Metatron is confirmed close by.
Metatron, that stranger.
Well, before we do that, some of these rocks that got blown up during the fight had mission files hidden inside of them.
Oh, what's a mission file?
That was a thing I picked up a little bit before fighting Anubis in the first video as well, but they unlock extra like time attack missions with different
like VR stuff and yeah.
Some of them are just like, fight all these enemies in a certain amount of time. Some of them like you're restricted to only sub weapons or boss rush and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. So yeah, there's a bunch all scattered throughout this area. There's actually another one that we won't be able to get yet because it's actually only accessible on a New Game Plus run.
Of course it is.
Obtained Metatron.
Whoa. That Metatron was being watched.
Narita destroyed.
Don't think lightly of Jehuti.
I can never get over how he pronounces Jehuti. He also says it a different way even later on in the game. He has several pronunciations of it.
Enemy destroyed. Narita
So another thing
destroyed.
Ada can do in this game is sometimes she will suggest sub-weapons to use.
Enemy
Oh, well, that's handy.
confirmed.
And right here,
I suggest using Gauntlet.
Okay, please switch it for me.
if you click in the left stick to say yes, she'll just automatically switch to that weapon she suggested. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's more help than she ever gave Leo.
Yeah. Gauntlet is extremely useful. It knocks enemies back, it goes through their shields, and if you hit an enemy with Gauntlet while they're next to a floor or any other kind of solid object or
I can do
surface,
this.
they'll take double damage from it.
Reinforcements are confirmed. Estimated combat time is 90 seconds.
I got it. I'll be careful.
And here, we have that time limit. Ada, when these guys spawn in, Ada will say she estimates a certain amount of time to destroy the entire group. And if you say, okay, I'll try and beat that, she'll pull up a timer. And if you defeat them before the timer runs out, it spawns an extra mission file.
Destroyed.
Don't think you can win high mobility combat.
Confirmed complete enemy destruction. Well done.
So basically, Ada will taunt you
Yeah.
and say, bet you can, and then you say, bet I can,
Uh-huh.
and then you do it.
That's the only instance of that happening in the game, but I like it. I like Ada just go like, bet you can't do this.
Good.
The gate is locked. First, you need to destroy 2 facilities. Confirm the location of the facilities with the map. You can open the map with the start button.
I'm just holding on, waiting for the scene where they become good friends, and then Ada has to remind Dingo that she's just a computer and has no feelings and does not care.
Head destroyed.
She did say she was a detached backup battle unit.
Dingo Egret, it's so nice to have an actual grown man sit in my cockpit. Your feet can reach the pedals.
I don't have to do all of the piloting for you, just some of it.
Raptor destroyed.
So yeah, the using Gauntlet, especially repeatedly, while it does a lot of damage, it does go through your sub-gauge really quickly, but you can recharge your sub-energy either by, picking up Metatron. Sometimes enemies will just have sub-energy refills on them when you defeat them. But you also recharge a little bit when you do really big combos.
Oh,
So
sure.
right below the sub-energy game, it'll say how many consecutive hits you've landed, and once that combo runs out, it'll refill your sub-gauge based on how many hits you did.
So it's all about the gauge and not ammo like in the first game.
Right, yeah, you don't have to pick up ammo anymore. It's all the sub-gauge. These metal plates and pretty much everything that you can grab. You can also hold them up as shields.
Oh, nifty.
So same with enemies, so if you hold them up as a shield, they will take the damage for you. And you can also use them as a battering ram, so if you dash while holding an enemy or an object, you will also deal damage that way, just by running through enemies.
Leo was never this creative.
No, he wasn't. He just grabbed and punched. Look how much better the grab is when you know how to use it, Leo. And yeah, with the when you're holding an enemy or one of those big metal plates, and you guard with them, they will also block burst attacks for you.
Oh, handy.
But they'll be destroyed after that.
Aw.
But yeah, they will just take a burst attack for you, and you won't take any damage. I can't remember. I also think they might block an extra hit if you charge them up like this, on top of them doing more damage by charging them up.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's hope that's the case.
I hope it is. Dingo, how do you see when you're doing this?
You know, I think I understand what he was getting at, because this is a pretty bad battlefield. It's very dull looking.
It is. Yeah, this is the one... Oh, these are mines that move every couple of seconds. They stick to you. After they stick to you, it's still possible to blow them up with homing lasers, but it's a little difficult. Yeah, this is the only section in all of Zone of the Enders 2 that actually, like, kind of gates you, like the first game did all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, at least in this instance, it's an area you've never been to before, at least. And it doesn't make you come back.
Obtained Metatron.
So there's a mission file hidden over here, and those rocks there, there's something hidden behind them too.
Those look unstable.
Yeah.
Oh.
However, we don't have the thing that can destroy them yet.
Aww.
That is actually yet another thing that is saved for a New Game Plus run through.
New Game Plus, yeah.
It's funny though, like even though this is, hour and a half, 2 hours into the game or something, like once you know what you're doing and when you come back in a New Game Plus run through, you can get here in about 20 minutes maximum. So yeah, with the there were some cutscenes last episode that was trying to explain what the situation was.
Trying is a good word for it, sure.
Help that much. It's funny, the actual anime is way better at being coherent than either of the games. It's like whoever localized that did a pretty good job at it for the most part, except for mistranslating a couple things, such as Bahram got translated to Buffram. And Noman,
oh no, I like Buffram better.
And Noman got translated to Norman.
No, that's way, way better.
So yeah,
Ridley, Norman, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, the actual thing happening is Mars got colonized by Earth.
Right.
And then eventually, Earth still had a big, had all the control over Mars. So eventually people on Mars wanted freedom. They didn't want to have to listen to Earth and all that. A military force started growing in Mars called Bahram that was full of people who wanted to be, who wanted Mars's independence. But Noman takes command, essentially, and it becomes more of just this crazy group looking for power that wants to take control of both Mars and Earth. And yeah, Noman's dad was making the Alman Project, which is this big super weapon.
You destroyed a lock.
And Zone of the Enders 1 was Noman stealing those frames so that he could use Alman right now.
A commander type is identified amongst the enemies. It may form a party with the surrounding enemies.
Party?
By forming a party, the enemies reinforce their fighting ability using formations and coordinated actions. It is dangerous for you to let them form a party. Before they do so, I suggest destroying the commander type. I will point out the commander type with this icon.
Roger. Sounds tough.
Who is that stranger? So yeah,
Well, his name is Roger, and believe you me, he's tough.
Wow.
Damage it more by hitting it against the side walls.
So yeah, here, Cyclops, they like to form in a line, and
You don't say, look at that.
they like to punch really, really fast, to the point where it's impossible to hit them with physical attacks for the most part, because they will just parry every single punch you throw at them. So it's better to pick up a big-ass thing and just throw it at him.
Nice.
And charging it makes it even easier. Oh.
Enemy body disconnected. Obtain Metatron.
The whole commander type thing is one of my favorite mechanics because you don't really see something like that too often in games.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. The one thing I will say, though, is for being such a cool mechanic, they don't use it super often. Basically, every enemy type in the game gets 1, maybe 2 chances to do the commander type thing.
Oh.
And they never really combine... Like,
Raptor destroyed.
okay, I think they might not combine multiple commander types in one fight because it might be really fucking hard. But that does never... It never happens, even on higher difficulty modes.
PTR reaction gone.
Which is another maybe missed opportunity. I don't know.
Enemy destroyed.
But yeah, there are a couple cool enemy types or mechanics that don't see much action in the game, even in the VR missions, just because while Zone of the Enders 1 was really short and Zone of the Enders 2 is longer, it's still not a super long game. Like I said, the speed run is like an hour or so. But even a normal playthrough of this, you can get through with cutscenes in like 6 hours maybe, if you're having a little bit of difficulty with some of the fights.
You know what I'm thinking about, though?
What?
Mars does not have canyons.
No!
Like, they don't.
Weird, Mars actually does look different.
This whole time, you're in a place that should not be.
Yeah. Maybe it's from battles.
But it makes for such a poor battlefield. Why would anyone have battles
does.
here?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe due to a large-scale battle, canyons were somehow formed.
Oh, because the land is so poor a battlefield.
Yes.
It got riven with deep, deep canyons.
Yeah, maybe that's what Dingo meant. Maybe that's what he was trying to say with his words.
Make full use of the topography.
Okay.
Damage level exceeding 50%. Mummy head
Dingo has the
destroyed.
best words, I'll have you know.
He does. He knows all the best words. Such beautiful words.
Shut up, I'm Dingo. Is the way I wish I could introduce myself if I felt that confident. Also, these little guys here, they were in a previous fight like a minute or so ago. They're really annoying. They just fire tethers at you,
Oh, gross.
and if you get hooked by one, you can only travel a certain distance before the tether just stops you. And they also shoot little electrical pulses through them, so they don't do like any damage really, but they stun you.
Obtain
And if you're hooked by
Metatron.
multiple ones, they stun you a lot more. And it can make things go poorly very quickly.
Yeah.
And they're a little hard to see because they're brown in a brown area. So if you do spot them, it's generally better to take them out first.
I'm digging this music.
Yeah, the music in Zone of the Enders 2 is really good. I will say, actually, the music in Zone of the Enders 1 is also pretty good, but it's a
Yeah.
way different style. It was more like one had a lot of like electro or like techno music in it, and it was pretty good. I think 2 goes slightly more, I don't know what style I would even say, but it sounds a little more cyberpunk at times in certain areas.
Yeah.
A little more ambient,
PTR reaction
but yeah,
gone.
it's really good in this game too.
Mummy head
Some of the later bosses have really good music too. There we go.
destroyed.
That's the ticket right there.
Cyberbots destroyed. Mummy head destroyed.
All right, time to blow this up.
All right.
All locks have been deactivated. Smashing the enemy into wall with combo smash adds to the damage.
You think Ada coined the phrase combo smash and is very proud of herself?
If Leo was likable, not a whiny baby, I would like to think that maybe as a kid he came up with a cool name and Ada just adopted it.
That'd be nice.
That would
but
be
no,
cool.
I don't want to give him credit for anything cool or good.
At least Leo seems to be a bit better now. Now that he's 15, I think.
Shut up.
14.
My name's Dingo.
Shut up, my name's Dingo. Oh yeah. So there's a commander type for the mummy head here. When they link up, they just fire tons of homing missiles at you, and they kind of move sideways in a conga line the whole time. They're one of the easier commander types to deal with because their attacks aren't super threatening. And even if they do hit you, like, they don't do a lot of damage. They do shoot like hundreds of them at you at a time, but...
We obtained the device driver of the sub-weapon Phalanx. This weapon produces a massive energy bullet. You can change the diffusion range. It depends on how strongly you press the circle button.
So yeah, the Phalanx is another returning sub-weapon from the previous game, except it's good now. The spread of the shots you fire just depends on how hard you're pressing the circle button, so it can be really wide or really focused. It shoots through your sub-gauge really quick, though. It's pretty good. It's decent at really big crowds, but it's actually really good when you focus it on one enemy at just stun-locking them non-stop. Like, they can't do anything once you start doing that.
Well, isn't that handy?
Yeah.
Destroyed.
It's still one of my...
Destroyed.
It's still a sub-weapon I don't use too much, but that's just because we're going to be introduced to a couple that are just so much better. They're just ridiculously good.
I'm so lost. Okay, here we go. This is new. This is new.
Yep.
Viola, you're already here.
I found you. Get ready. Come on, entertain me. That was careless.
Ada, what can I do with that shield?
If you can guard against the enemy slamming in, you might be able to nullify the enemy shield.
So, an ordinary guard cannot be used.
If you have some sort of catalyst, you can improve Jehuti's abilities.
A catalyst?
Please search for something like a board as a guard.
Alright, I can guard from their slamming in as I grab that. Let's do it!
What?
Amazing. By catalyst, they mean, what if you grab a metal plate and guard with it? But yeah, if you can destroy her shield by guarding while she rams, and then once she hits a wall, just spam Gauntlet. That'll just do a ton of damage to her. So I like fighting AI Viola because every time you fight her, she has like a slightly different puzzle aspect to her.
Oh, yeah. And this time it's using the catalyst.
The catalyst, such as a board. You mean a solar panel? It's not really a board.
It's certainly not a catalyst.
God, it's just the localization is just like my favorite thing about this game. It's so confusing.
Damn, this is only the beginning. It's a great view, isn't it?
Please shake it off.
Please shake it off. Get it off. Get it off. So no more catalysts.
Dingo, wake up. Nephtis gonna play.
But yeah, no more catalysts. But you can trick Nephtis into flying into these walls that will stun her.
Ah, okay. So it's time for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. And if she's close enough to it, you can also just knock her into it just by hitting her with Gauntlet a couple times. You can also do that just to, when she's about to free herself from the thing, to knock her right back into it.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah. Also, her health gets slowly drained as long as she's trapped on the wall, too. Which is how she dies here without me hitting her.
We obtained the device driver for the sub-weapon Comet. This is a weapon with great enemy homing capabilities.
So yeah, Comet, also pressure sensitive. If you just fire it, it'll hit an enemy, home in on them, and it'll bounce back and hit them multiple times. It also breaks through shields.
Oh, handy.
If you press the button hard, it won't bounce back as much, but it'll home in really fast on them.
When I was with Bahram, Viola was the last person I wanted as an enemy.
The enemy is a battle AI that will never stop following a target while the target continues to exist.
If it's modeled after Viola, it's so much the worse. Ada, is this the settlement?
There are life signs in many buildings.
We have come to the worst place. Let's leave.
Hey, Henry G! Have you already arrived on Mars?
Who is this?
It's Taper. We met on Deimos.
Are you still alive? That's a miracle, isn't it?
I received a transmission from the 8 Heads platoon on the coast.
Are they a Lev unit with the vector cannon?
Yeah. They seem to be stuck and confined in a facility by a cliff. I'm going to the point of origin of the dispatch now.
I'll be there soon.
Hey, by the way, what is your mission?
What's going on there?
Move in Formation 2. Meet again after the enemy is exterminated.
Stand by. Stand by.
Hey, Taper, they seem like your pals, don't they?
Why didn't you say our pals? Don't you know them?
Ada, put me through to that unit.
This is Storm Company.
What are you doing? Do you want to involve civilians?
Who cares? Anyhow, they're only the small fry of Vasilia.
Hey, what?
He must be really upset. Henry G, please help them.
Damn! Taper, there's no guarantee, though.
Please.
Storm Company, I'm coming to help.
Who is this?
Don't talk too much! Ada!
Which are you going to help? The Space Force or civilian buildings?
Both!
All right. The damage percentage of the people in the civilian buildings is shown on the radar. Please eliminate the entire enemy before they are completely destroyed. One more thing. The Space Force's Levs are manned. Be careful not to destroy them.
What do I do when I want a Lev to stop attacking the building?
You will employ the sub-weapon Geyser.
Sure, I can stop them moving with Geyser. Ada, you're good at your job for a battle AI.
My previous runner influenced me greatly.
That must be that Leo I met.
He always had respect for human life.
You're the type that behaves the way the man you love wants you to.
I do not comprehend.
You don't have to. It will all end when I dispose of Bahram's unmanned machine. Anyway, let's go.
Certainly. Mission start.
Dingo, what the fuck is
Let's
wrong with your
eliminate
brain?
every enemy.
How do you make these leaps of...
The heartless murder AI clearly is madly in love with the child. The tiny, crying child.
What is happening? Okay, so this is basically like kind of like an SOS mission from Zone of the Enders 1. It's the only
Right,
one.
yeah.
It's the only one, and it's a lot easier because the buildings have health. And there's a little map showing you where the enemies appear and all that. The easiest way to do this is to hit all these spiders with Gauntlet. because 1 or 2 hits will take them out immediately. If you hit them from the bottom, they're done in 1 hit. The other thing is the Levs are there. You don't want them to die. But you also don't want the civilians to die. If the spiders start crawling on the buildings with survivors on them, the Levs will just start shooting at the building.
Okay.
So the Levs it's also possible for the Levs to kill civilians. So the goal here is to just kill the spiders fast enough that they never even get on the buildings for the Levs to attack them.
Enemy reinforcements are confirmed.
Although Gauntlet does use up a lot of sub-weapon energy, there is a single energy refill in the middle of the map.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this isn't
That's
too
handy.
hard. Once you realize how good Gauntlet is in this game, this is actually pretty easy.
All these Levs are just like watching you, and they're not even fighting.
Wow, fuck, this guy's good. I can take a break. And yeah, what Ada said earlier too is, if the spiders do get on the buildings and you want the Levs to stop shooting, you can just stop them by throwing geyser at them. Doesn't do any damage to them or anything, it just makes them stop attacking. Just like in the previous Zone of the Enders, you do get ranked on how you performed in the game. And in this game, there are 2 events that happen that really determine that rank. And this is the first one.
4 more.
What, we're almost halfway through? That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
time to finally get graded.
It's close to halfway. At the end of the next episode, we'll be halfway.
All the enemies are destroyed. Mission completed. I can say nothing but spectacular.
Yeah, I know. Call me a genius runner.
Genius runner.
Don't take it seriously.
What are you doing? Don't butt in our battle.
A battle? Does the Space Force call massacring innocent civilians battle?
I don't care about Vasilia's people. They're nothing. It doesn't matter whether they're civilians or not. It's still the same.
Shut up! If you say anything more, I'm gonna kill you, you wretch.
What?
Go away!
Uh...
Ada, please put me through to Leo.
All right, I will put you through to Leo Stenbuck.
Dingo, what's wrong?
How has your search for the Levs been going?
I've already saved several people, but they all say they would attack Alman.
They were ordered to, weren't they?
But it's impossible for Levs to attack Baram.
Let them do as they like.
You're heartless, aren't you? If they're your ally...
Is the Space Force my ally? Don't kid me.
What?
Hey, I found a few Lev units in the civilian residential area near the South Gate. If you still think they're your team, you can pick them up.
All right.
Ada, put me through to Taper.
All right, I will put you through.
Henry G., how's everything going?
I did my best. Have you already met 8-Heads?
Yeah. I've confirmed the vector cannon too, but things are worse.
What's wrong?
This location might have been discovered by Baram.
What? Where is it?
This is an energy facility along Ayers Cliff. It seems to be supplying power for Alman.
Wait, the enemy is approaching. What? Ada, where is the train going?
It is going via Ayers Cliff along the sea.
They're attacking all the way. Hey, Taper! The train carrying the orbital frame is going towards you.
What's that?
I'll destroy it before it gets there.
Is that right?
After all, it's just on the way. Ada, give me the estimated time of the train's arrival.
Roger.